Hi, I'm Jen Conti with the Patents Project, here to bring you May's featured solution, WinSlate for Kids from Forbes AAC.
Hi, I'm Andrea Ravenold from Forbes AAC, and I'm here at ATIA 2019 in Orlando. And I just wanted to show you the WinSlate for Kids device that we have here at the show today. So the WinSlate for Kids is on a very powerful Windows tablet platform, and then this is an eye tracker bar at the bottom, and we partner with iTech for our eye tracker. Now what this device allows you to do is communicate using a very high-powered AAC device, but also provides eye tracker training for young children who are new to the concept of eye gaze. So I wanted to just show you a few things on the device really quick, just to introduce you to what its capabilities are. So what I'll show you first is how you would go through a calibration with this device. So you'll see I'm kind of centered on the screen here. There are some indicator lights down here at the bottom that tell me whether it's able to see my eyes. And I'm going to go into my eye gaze settings here. You'll see I have a visual indicator of where I am in space. So that avatar tells me whether the camera, again, is able to see my eyes. You'll notice that when I blink, it blinks. When I move, it moves, and tells me where kind of the edge of the track box is, which is where the eye gaze camera can really see my eyes. I'm also going to go over into this video view here. So this gives me an even better idea of exactly what the camera is able to see. So you'll notice when I close my left eye, those crosshairs will go away, or if I begin to squint so much that it's not able to see my pupils. So again, it gives me a lot of information about exactly what the camera is seeing. Now I'm going to go through a quick calibration. So in my settings here, I'm going to set it to, we'll leave it at 5 targets, and then let's say I'm a young child and I don't have great visual attention for the screen. What I might do is a dynamic target, like this flapping bird, to really hold my attention on the screen of the device. So I'll go back, and I'm just going to go ahead and calibrate. So as I look at these targets, as they move around the screen, the camera is learning what my eyes look like as I look at these different areas. And it then is able to calculate all over the entire screen exactly where I'm looking. So that looks great. We get calibration scores on a scale of 0 to 100, and these are all mostly in the high 90s, so that should be really functional for me. I'm going to go back and look at my activation settings. I'm going to dwell in one spot to click, so that means I look at one cell for 1 second, and then it's going to click in that spot, and I'll get a visual indicator of how long I need to look. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK, and show you a little bit about our CoreWord program. So this is CoreWord 40, and what you'll notice is that there are 40 buttons on the screen. This, I'm going to cover up the camera for just a second to show you. This is the chat area, which is really social language and more phrase and sentence-based language. Now what I can also do from my home page is begin to create novel sentences using one word at a time. And this is all very evidence-based and research-based as far as what vocabulary is really prioritized on the home screen. So these words have been shown again and again in research to be the words that people use most frequently in conversation. So if I want to say the word play,
plays.
I'm going to go ahead and clear that out actually. I'll go back to my home page. I want to say play.
Play.
And what I can do now is use what's called Fringe Vocabulary. So if I wanted to maybe play music or play a game, I could select something from one of those folders. But what I want to do as a young child is play some cause and effect games in Look to Learn. So I'm just going to select the Look to Learn folder there. And this is going to
play Look to Learn.
This is going to take me out, of course it's kind of yelling at me. This is going to take me out to a software platform that again is really functional for kiddos who are new to the concept of eye gaze and need to practice it as an eye gaze or an access method. So I'm going to just navigate through these just to get there a little bit more quickly. One of my favorite ones is this magic mouse that lets kiddos see where they're looking on the screen by showing a really fun mouse cursor that goes wherever my eyes go. So this is just a really neat visual indicator of where you're looking on the screen. And again, it follows your eyes in real time. So that can really help young children understand the concept of, oh, where I look, that mouse cursor then is going to follow me, and something happens when I look at a particular area of the screen. You'll notice too, when I targeted that star, then my mouse cursor changed. So now I have bubbles on the screen instead of the butterflies. One of the really neat things too, if I go back out of this activity, I'm just going to use my fingers just for efficiency, I will then get what's called an analysis page. So in just a second here, I'll get a button that shows an analysis tool that shows me in the form of a heat map where I looked on the screen and for how long. So right here, if I press analysis, you can see I looked pretty much everywhere on the screen, but my eyes spent the most time in these areas that are red. So you can see I kind of spent more time in this lower left quadrant of the screen. And sometimes evaluators will notice that, oh, this person using the device really only accesses this small portion of the screen. And that tells us that we might need to provide some extra training to improve their visual gaze to other areas of the screen. Or if someone really does have a restricted ability to move their eyes, we may need to make communication boards for them that have buttons that are only in the area of the screen that they are able to access. So it's a really nice tool. What you'll also notice as the sound output is coming out of this device, it's coming from this sound pod that I'm wearing. And the sound pod allows, when I'm using this as an AAC device, it allows my voice to come from my body rather than from the computer that's in front of me. So that really improves the naturalness of communication, improves eye contact between communication partners, and really just makes it feel like just a little bit more of a natural interaction. So I wanted to show you one more thing in CoreWord before we wrap up. So I'm going to go back to my home page by looking. And yes, I'll go ahead and close Look to Learn. So what I wanted to show you is how predictive CoreWord is. So you'll notice every time I select a word on the page, the interface is changing to show me the word that might need to come next, but also get rid of the words that wouldn't logically come next. So if I say, let's see, I'll go to my home page instead. I'm going to say I. You'll notice after I say I, my other pronouns go away because I would likely need to be able to say I did, I would, I could, but I wouldn't necessarily need to be able to say I, he, I, she, I, my, just because grammatically that doesn't really make as much sense. So now I could say I drink, and then that will automatically take me to this page of Fringe Vocabulary that gives me the logical next step in the sentence. So without having to go and dig through folders of vocabulary, it's logically leading me down the path of how to create that sentence that I'm hoping to create efficiently. So this is just a basic introduction to the WinSlate for Kids device, our CoreWord language system, and then use of Look to Learn to teach the concept of eye gaze. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.
For more information, contact Kelly Bowers at 317-969-7366 or Kelly B at ForbesAAC.com. That's KELLYB at ForbesAAC.com. To find out more about this featured solution, check out the contact information in the description. Follow Patents on Facebook, Twitter, and patentsproject.org. Subscribe and click the bell so you're the first to see the latest Patents TV videos.